Welcome to The Crooked Climb with Suzanne and Denise. Life and business are not linear. Let's get moving with honest, reliable, and unbiased information you can use to master life and business. We've all experienced life's ups and downs. In this show, Suzanne and Denise are committed to moving onward, upward, and most of all, learning from the biggest challenges we face in life and business. Join in the conversations with experts in their respective fields of health, wellness, personal development, fitness, and fun. And that's not all. Your path to self-mastery starts here. No climb is a straight line. Goals are achievable with clear targets. The ascent begins now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Suzanne Taylor-King, and I am minus my partner in crime today. She is on vacation, and so I have a really special guest today, but I want to let you know what we're up to here on the Crooked Climb. Honest, real solutions to everyday health issues or business issues. And we all know how closely the two are related. Each episode, we want to make sure we give you tips and tools that you can use in the real world. And the Crooked Climb is available on Transformation Talk Radio, Apple, Spotify, Google, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. And this episode, we are going to dive into exercise with, I guess, my favorite personal trainer besides myself, Josh Margolis. His company, Mind Over Matter Health and Fitness, they do virtual, outdoors, and in-home fitness services. And Josh, why don't you just take a minute and tell us what you're up to these days?
Well, thank you for having me, Suzanne. It's a pleasure to be here. So first and foremost, and I love the intro because I love a lot of the messages that were in your pre-recorded introduction there, which I definitely want to hit on. Sort of what defines what I'm up to today. Most of my work these days has transitioned to the virtual world. Yes, that imaginary world that has become so real for all of us.
Yeah, the box, right?
It really is. We can be put into a box. There was initial apprehension and resistance on my end from switching to a new model of virtual training. I always felt that it took the personal out of personal training, as was the old adage went. But like everything else in life, sometimes we have to be forced into a new way of thinking to truly understand it and appreciate it. And I think that's what happened with me and the people that I work with. I have to be honest, it took a while for me to transition over to the idea of working in two dimensions. And now that I have, the success of my individual clients have been really unparalleled. I'd like to say it's because they have a wonderful trainer, which they do, but it's the dynamic of being in the virtual world that has really helped them meet, define, and sometimes exceed their own goals. So it's been a wild ride.
I love that. I love one that it's really a story of you being okay with the virtual world. Your clients adapted pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I only knew working with you in the virtual. So I don't know. It's pretty cool to think that it was your own mindset that you had to wrap around the change. And now, do you think you'll go back to not doing virtual?
Right. It's funny because a lot of my clientele I've had this conversation with, things are getting back to some sense of normalcy, whatever that is these days. And about 90% of them want to continue on this path. And 9 out of 10 times it's for one reason: convenience. That's it. I mean, my industry and my service that I provide is no different than anything else in the sense that we live in a world of convenience. And that's what's going to separate success and failure. If there's a better chance or easier chance and more of a chance of you doing it, then you're going to succeed at it. And I think that's what it came down to. It was, look, I will say this, with my virtual clients, I have less people missing workouts. That's the bottom line when it comes down to it. Why? Because there's less excuse now to miss a workout.
Yeah.
There's no, I got stuck in traffic. There's no, I got held up at the office. There's none of that. So your reasons, and there are plenty of reasons if we're looking for excuses not to exercise, as we've discussed. If you're looking for a reason not to exercise, don't have to look for
You'll find one.
They're all out there.
You'll find one.
Yeah, they're easy. But for this, I find that probably most of my clients are maybe once every other month they'll miss a workout. Maybe they'll get sick, maybe something comes up. Whereas the in-person ones, people are running late, but people have to leave early. The quality of the workout and the consistency of it has really funneled upwards during the virtual. And for me, the notice was really in the heart of the pandemic. I found that most of my clients were actually losing weight and not gaining. And I wish I could say that I could take credit for that, but I think it was the dynamic of the accountability factor. So some of them, look, are in California or in Hawaii or in Minnesota or in Florida and anywhere. So those are clearly going to stay virtual. And I've become almost like a supplement to people's weekly workout habits, where I'm not the only thing that they're doing. I'm almost as a guiding light to the other exercise that they do. Yeah.
Well, I love that, because I think making it easy for your clients, I talk about, things being easy all the time, because just as human beings, we go towards what's easy and we pull away from what feels hard. And if you make it easier for your clients to work with you, it's one of the things I've done in my coaching, is I don't require people to sign up for 3 months or 6 months or a year. You can buy one session with me if you want. And I think that I'm on to something, because I've seen a dramatic increase in the amount of people interested in giving coaching a try, or giving something different that they've never done a try. Well, let me just try this and see how it works for me. So what do you find with your clients?
Yeah, I think it is that simple. Look, it's a convenience-based world. I think other businesses, whatever it is, succeed on that principle alone. We look at like these, on one extreme end, just use an example, like mega stores like Target and Walmart and things like that. Like people go there because it's convenient. You can just get everything you want. And now you don't even have to go there. Now you just click there and you do everything you want to do. Exercise can be perceived to be tedious and just difficult to do, arduous tasks. So and it is. So for something like that, you have to make it as easy and appealing as possible. So one of the big changes that we did at Mind Over Matter was taking an hour-long workout and cutting it in half.
Yes.
So no more 60-minute workouts. I think that's a thing of the past. Honestly, and it's exciting. Look, an hour of time is that's a lot of time. We are both busy people. I would say a lot of people now working from home, and the irony is they're even busier because they're just, they're inundated and saturated work. So to have an hour time set aside, it's not easy to do. People who have work, family, it's hard to balance that. So the half hour appeals to that. Also, an hour workout can be daunting. That's a long time. There's some days where you just don't have the energy, you didn't sleep right, you didn't eat well. So an hour could be like, oh my God, I can't get this in. So 30 minutes is so much more manageable. No matter who you are and where you are, you have 30 minutes to work out. You can find that time. And even if you're having a rough day, you can gut through 30 minutes. And because of that too, also, I'm seeing people more frequently. There's more accountability there. Seeing somebody once a week for an hour it's a whole other week before I see them again. That's a long
Yeah.
time for them to be on their own. We spend half the workout sort of catching back up. I'd rather now see somebody for twice a week, 30 minutes each. And it's more about, when you're exercising, you want to think more about intensity and frequency and not about duration. Duration doesn't mean anything independent of anything else. That's somebody saying, oh, I was on the treadmill for an hour. Okay, what did you do? Yeah, like what, like,
Yeah.
Okay. So it's more about how often you go, how frequent you go, and how intense you go. So because it's 30 minutes, we pack it in tight. We make it essentially a cardiovascular workout and a resistance workout. And most of the people that we're working with, little to no equipment. As you and I have discussed this before,
I
we do this a
like
lot.
that.
Your body,
I like
that's
that a
the
lot.
equipment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I like the idea of, endless cardio. And I'm just going to stereotype women in general,
right.
think that in order to lose weight, I have to do more cardio, more cardio, more
Yeah.
cardio. And I mean, I know that's a myth, right? I know that weight training and body weight workouts, that's what destroys body fat. But why
Right.
are we so programmed cardio, cardio, cardio?
Now, it's amazing because that's, I've been doing this for almost 20 years. And that used to be the perception back then. I think it's changing a little bit. It's not there completely. There's an expression I see for one of these workouts, strong is the new sexy. I think women are starting to wrap their minds much more so around the idea of resistance training. Here's a simple adage that I always tell my clients. Cardio, you burn calories. Resistance training, you burn fat. So that's the difference. Like, yeah, cardio, you're going to burn calories. There's no question about it. But the resistance training, you're going to burn fat. Resistance training is going to change the shape of your body. Resistance training stays with you. When you step off that treadmill, workout's done, all your functions start to go down. But if you do like a 30-minute weight training, your metabolic functions are through the roof. So the second that workout's done, everything's still burning higher. So you get a more longer term effect from that. So cardio has its place, there's no question. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to focus more on the resistance training with my clients. And the way I've been doing it is we do it at such a quick pace that their heart rate gets elevated anyway. So they're kind of killing two birds with the proverbial stone there.
Well, that makes sense.
Right.
I love productivity. I love, doing things more efficiently. I would love for you to talk a little bit about the strategy behind the accountability piece of working with a trainer. I get it. I get it.
I know you get it. I know you get it.
I am super accountable to myself. But I think that's only because I've been a coach for so long. So I'm able to take those coaching principles and apply them to myself. Like I'm having a coaching conversation with myself. But to the normal person, the people I work with, the people you work with, accountability, the needing to show up for an appointment, like, oh, Josh is on the calendar at 11. I need to be dressed for my workout, and you can't schedule anything else at that time. So speak a little bit to that accountability factor and how it improves things.
I mean, look, you get it because this is who you are and what you do. Look, we want to take extreme examples. Let's talk about professional athletes, from team sports, basketball, football, to individual tennis. You hear players like LeBron James, Tom Brady, Serena Williams, all these people. The first person they thank is their coach. Now, they're the star athlete. They're the ones who put the time, energy, and effort in. They're the one who sacrificed. They're the ones who are the genetic gifted ones. They have all the stuff, but yet the first person they come to thank is their coach. Nobody's doing this by themselves. Nothing great is accomplished is solo. It takes a person there in your corner, or it takes a team, or it takes somebody behind you. So I think it's okay to have help, and we need help. Honestly, I wouldn't be here right now without my coaches. In fact, part of what got me into doing this was the relationships and the attachments that I had to my coaches over the years. I think people think what I do for a living, that I'm just this, peak athlete. I was always just like an average to good athlete. I had to work really hard to be successful when I played sports. I was in high school, I was in college, I ran in college, because I was never that athletically gifted. So for me, even more, the emphasis was put onto the coaching, the accountability aspect of it too. And, it's just being honest with yourself. I think that's the hardest thing to do sometimes. It sounds like, but being genuine with yourself, that's the hardest thing. A lot of us tell ourselves these little things to get us through the day that aren't necessarily true. I was just talking about to a nutritionist about, we're talking about eating before you and I came on, the 80-20 rule, which is 80% of the time eat really well and 20% you don't have to. But it should really be 90-10, because we self-report. So we think we're doing 80-20, but we're probably doing more like 60-40. So it's the same thing with yourself.
I just want to say that is so spot on. And you asked me, I've lost about 7 pounds over the last 2 weeks, maybe a little more. I haven't gotten on the scale, but I'll tell you what made the difference. And I have a significant amount of weight to lose after injury, after COVID, growing my business. I have about 40 more pounds to go. And I'm a holistic nutritionist. I'm a coach. I was a personal trainer. I was in figure competition 4 years ago. Wow. I know exactly what I need to do, but I wasn't doing it.
Right.
And a friend of mine started doing a program, Weight Watchers program. And she told me about it. And she said, here's the list of foods that I'm allowed to have for free. And I looked at the list and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Lean chicken, lots of vegetables, no fats. Like, I see what they're doing. Carbs have a lot of points. Chicken has 0. Okay, I get it. And I just had the awareness one morning at what I was eating for breakfast. And it was a healthy breakfast. But I thought, this right there on that system would be my points for the whole entire day. And then I'm going to choose not to exercise today.
Right. It's funny. Like, I find that these things go hand in hand. I do, my experience is when people start along the path of better living, that it is contagious. If you start exercising, then you do start eating a little bit better. And then maybe you start sleeping a little bit better, and maybe you start drinking a little bit less. It's incremental. We know it works the other way. When you start to derail, I mean, really, you can just, boom. Yeah. So it works on the uptick as well. You start adding these little things to your life. You're not going to make wholesale changes overnight. Epiphanies, why they're amazing when they happen, they're far and few between. It's a slow burn. It's a slow grind, but having someone there for you that you're accountable. You said it when you introduced the question, having it on your calendar. The number one comment I get probably from most of my my morning clients anyway, my early morning, are I would have hit snooze if it wasn't for you. And I get it. You're right. Especially now, I see people early in the morning, 5:36 sometimes, and it's dark. Now that's a tough time to get out of bed. But when you have that commitment, and sometimes it is a financial commitment, it's like, okay, I just paid for this. I'm not gonna. I gotta do it. Like, it's like you feel even worse about it. So sometimes having that person there, just having the accountability factor, is half the battle.
Yeah, I love that, because I think, my podcast partner in crime, Denise, who's not here today, we hold each other accountable to business things, to personal things, we even started, did you work out today? What did you do? And
Right.
just having that other person to report to is really important. And I think when you factor that in, as a personal trainer, you're automatically you're giving that with the experience of exercising. So it's really two things for the price of one. And you're getting the accountability, you're getting the show up, but then you're also getting the exercise knowledge. So
Right.
what do you think makes the biggest difference after accountability, after the exercise routines that you do with your clients? What's the
Right.
biggest change that they see happen outside of physical changes? It's
Yeah.
nice to have a flatter stomach, and
Right.
I'm going crazy upper body workouts
Right.
right now because I want my arms to look different. What outside of the physical, what
Right.
happens to your client?
I think, and that's a great question too, and that this is in my wheelhouse because my background, my education is in sports psychology. So I take such a mental approach to it. I'm
Yeah.
a believer of all those adage, old cliches. It's 90% mental, whatever it is. Yeah, I'm buying it. So I believe in the inverse. I believe that you feel good, then you look good. I think it does start in here. I think you start feeling better about who you are and what you're doing, your self-esteem, your self-confidence, all these things go hand in hand. And when you start feeling that better, you project yourself even in better light. I find my clients, even their posture is better because they're just so proud and happy of what they're doing, where they are. It's not always, because this mornings we're just like, as you and I know, we're like, I don't want to do this. But overall, I think they start feeling better about who they are and what they're doing and why they're doing this. And something that we've all sat around, whether it's with ourselves, with somebody else, and always said, like, I really need to take better care of myself, or I really need to lose some pounds, or I really need to get in a routine. So those things manifest themselves and sometimes deep in your subconscious. And when you finally start to shed a little light on that, you feel great. You feel great about what you're doing. And another cliche, you enjoy the process. You do. Ultimately, it's a result industry. You got to get the results.
Hey, I'm enjoying the process, but I don't want to ever do it again. Can we just say that?
Right.
Like,
right. That's the way to put it. Yes.
This is the last time I want to get back in shape.
It's a hell of a lot easier to stay there than to get back there.
But why do we have to do it so many times before we grasp that it's easier, honey, just to stay there?
I know.
Just
it's so much harder to do it. I agree with you. There's a great expression about character. Character is easily kept than recovered. And it's once you're able to maintain it, it's able to do it. I think it almost human nature, and it's a shame we have to do this, but everybody has to go through something bad or negative to understand and appreciate where they should be from a positive standpoint. Sometimes for people, it's life altering. Like some of my clients who have like heart attacks or some type of illness like that, it takes them going through that horrible process to be like, and sometimes it's just taking a glimpse of ourselves in our underwear in the mirror. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's seeing something like that. We need to have something.
The prospect of wearing a bathing suit has terrified many a person.
Right.
Well,
right.
I can't believe that we need to start wrapping up. So I want to give you a chance with your amazing reputation, your infectious energy, and everything you bring to the table. Let our audience know where they can get in touch with you, how to do that. And then I'd also like for you to mention your website and what kind of offers you have going on right now.
Right. So the best bet to get us is we're Mind Over Matter NYC. That's who we are. So mindovermatternyc.com. My Instagram, Mind Over Matter NYC. My Facebook is, I'm actually Joshua Mind Over Matter Margolis. I don't know how I was able to do that, but I'm
that's
on
awesome.
So, Yeah. Anything with Mind Over Matter. We're actually doing a fall special right now, like a fall back into routine, where we're doing like a discounted offer on sessions. I joke all the time with people on my staff that January 1st is technically the Western calendar for the new year, but September 1st is the new year for all of us. We still operate on a school schedule. It's like that's when we recommit ourselves. So because of that, we have a special offer. It's on our website as well. And packages of sessions with us, it entitles you not just to me, but to my team, to my Pilates instructors, my yoga instructors, people who do meditation. We do martial arts, boxing. So it's an all-in-one stop and shop fitness service. So we have a couple articles on our site as well, talking about benefits of virtual fitness and how to get into it and what you need. Short version is you just need the ability to do this and you have room to exercise in your place. So that's it.
Yep. I did it right here in my office. So plenty of room. As long as you have a yoga mat, you're good to go if it fits. So Joshua, thank you so much for joining us today on The Crooked Climb. I know Denise is going to be totally jealous that she missed this. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in to The Crooked Climb, where you find us the second and fourth Friday of every month at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time on Transformation Talk Radio. And this episode will go live at 3:30. We recorded this a little early for Joshua's schedule, and we will get that out to you as soon as possible. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Suzanne Taylor-King, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to The Crooked Climb with Suzanne and Denise. Life and business are not linear. Your go-to solution for honest, reliable, and unbiased information you can use to master your life and business. To connect with Suzanne, visit thetailoredconsultingagency.com. That's tailored, TAYLORD. And to connect with Denise, visit livinghealthylist.com.